Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we are back bringing you some Honkai Star Rail. Sorry for my voice is a bit crackly, I'm sorry for that. But we're going to be, I wouldn't say we're going to be reacting because I've already watched the video, so I don't want to give you like a false reaction of obviously the video. But what we're going to do is we're going to walk through what I think is the meaning behind what they've animated. Sort of like a theory craft on who she is, because I've already watched the video, but I haven't actually given my 2 cents because I was in work. But now obviously I'm back from work, so I kind of want to give my 2 cents about like the video and obviously some other things as well. I think we'll also touch on the whole drama that's going on, but I'm only going to touch on that like for like 2 seconds, just to obviously give my thoughts of the whole situation. I'm not going to make a whole video for people to watch and listen to my explanation. So without further ado, let's obviously walk through this. And then I'm going to theory craft or pause and explain my bits, and then we can go from there. So let's see.
Do you still remember why Izumo forged these blades?
Because in times past, when the Yao Yorozu no Kami descended here, they wrought death and disaster on this world and its people.
So, we're not going to watch the whole video. I'm just going to like give you a glimpse of what I think everything means. So, from what I understand, obviously that word, that Yoruzo no Kami is probably like the alternate version of like the Honkai beasts, because there's a lot of reference to Honkai Impact 3rd in this small video, like a lot of references to Honkai Impact 3rd. So I think that name, those things are probably like Honkai beasts.
Brought death and disaster on this world and its people. To save the world, Izumo splintered 70,033 blades and forged them into the 12 sentinels. Okay, so what you're going to get from here is that whoever Izumo is, probably someone important or even a figurehead of some sort, so forged those swords into 12 figureheads, right? And what you'll see is those 12 figureheads are actually in reference to the Hershas in Impact 3rd. The first was truth, forged by the Sovereign of Revelation.
Yeah. So at first when I watched the video, I was like, what? Who? That is, there's no way they're doing that on by mistake. So I'll show you, I'll kind of hit it as I talk, but as we watch this, you will understand that every single sword is basically a Hersha. We have the Hersha of truth here.
It could teach mortals the way of the law and create miracles from the deconstruction of all things. The second was sky, forged.
I mean, it's very clear what which Hersha this is. It's the, I don't know what, Hersha of void, yes.
By the eternal zenith. It could form a barrier from the firmament and prevent the innumerable gods of misery from passing through. The third was Howl, able to summon lightning to rend the heavens and meteors to rain down divine.
So obviously we know which one this is. This is the Hersha of thunder. Yeah, that's what she's called. Yeah.
Punishment. The fourth was mist.
So this was one of the antagonists that you face in the game, but she was also a Hersha.
Able to break earth and tear cloud with biting wind and rain. The fifth was frost, freezing the land.
So this is actually the boss that you face in Impact 3rd. One of the bosses that you face in Impact 3rd. She's also like a Hersha of frost.
In an instant. The sixth was fate, the restless cycle of life and death.
This took me a while because you see, I think everyone who has watched the teasers, you kind of see this and you think, okay, acheron, no problem. But if you think about it, this is actually the Hersha that has the Hersha of death, which is the latest one, the latest Hersha that was released, Sela, the updated version of Sela who became a Hersha. I'll put it on the screen as we talk, but basically this is what she's supposed to be representing.
Then there was flare, thought, root, form, bind, maw. With those sentinels, we seized on tomorrow's expectation. winning victory after victory, until
all of them were broken. The price of every victory was a world in its entirety. And in the end, that entirety was lost. And so Izumo splintered 12 sentinels and forged them into 2 bearers.
So it's quite interesting. So Izumo, whoever he is, or whether it's an entity or whatever Izumo is, right, forged the 70,000 or 20,000, I don't remember the number, the amount of blades that were there to 12 sentinels, right? So 12 sentinels had each unique powers within the amount of blades that were there. And then he took the 12 blades that had that amount of power, right, and then put them into 2 bearers, which is in this case...
The first was Origin,
which obviously is reference to the Herrscher of Origin.
The second was End,
which is basically the reference to Herrscher of Eternity.
The world forged 70,047 blades, and only one could save Izumo. But you and I both know, the road to salvation does not exist. There is no trace of tomorrow. Resisting the Kamigami, humanity will eventually become Oni. We pawned everything, all for the destruction of 2 worlds. In times past, Takamagahara, upon which the Kami descended, was surely as beautiful as Izumo.
So this is where I might not be getting things right. So she destroyed both now blades that hold all this power, which is being the end and the origin and the end, right?
So, do you still remember why Izumo forged these blades?
because of a lie. An end.
And this is where there's a lot of theory on how and what the eon of nihility is, because a lot of people were like, it's the eon of, I don't know, death or finality or whatever, but I don't think we've seen that eon yet represented in the game. So this is where I was watching this and I thought this might actually be the eon of nihility, because if you read what the eon of nihility does, he brings basically confusion, death, and just anywhere the eon of nihility resides, there will be complete destruction. And not in that way. Like, you have to read about what the eon of nihility. Let me see if I can get it. Eon of nihility. IX, that's his name. So if you go profile, and I believe exists. So I believe existence is meaningless, doing anything is worthless. They don't interact with other eons, and the existence is a mystery. Just being near can make one feel numbed and dejected. Cosmic black hole with 2 points resembling eyes. Out of eons, terminus and odd, mysterious. So there's a video I watched. I can't remember which one it was, but there's a video I watched, and it thoroughly explained that anyone, anywhere, or anyone that is affiliated or sees or is even close to this eon completely loses their mind, and every civilization that is next to this eon basically gets destroyed. Now, at this point in time, this is where I figure is when she was now made, or rather, she now became an emanator of the eon of nihility.
That never existed. We long since strode into their shadow. Each step forward one that we can never walk back. Until the last blade is forged into... Not.
This is what I want to understand, like, is the fact that she now forged both eternity and... origin and end into one blade. This is where I'm getting confused. Maybe I'm the one who's just not understanding something, because like she loses her horns and and obviously gets the white hair and stuff. So at this point, does she become now an emanator? Because this really pretty much looks like the eon of nihility, to be honest.
I knew this world was fleeting. And yet. And yet.
Right. So yeah. So that's basically where I am with this whole aspect of the Raiden. Sorry, not Raiden. Acheron. Like. So. Part of it now we understand that she forged both now the sword of origin and eternity, origin and end into one blade, which is this blade, right? That came from, obviously, if you're like very specific, it came from like a drop of her tear or something. So,
until the last
see, yeah.
blade is forged into.
Now, what I don't understand is I don't understand what that is. Anyway, obviously, if you feel you understand, obviously put on the comments below, because there's a lot of theory into Acheron. They made a very like how Blade. It's not similar to how Blade was. The whole story of Blade, Jingliu, and that group that they're part of. Like it's so much to unravel. It's mad, but they're going a very good route with the way they're kind of putting in mystery. But what we can say is 100% she might be an emanator, or if she is an emanator. This, from my perspective, I think is IX, which is the Eon of Nihility. And in the death that she brought upon this world, including the destruction and eradication of what this world deemed as its what would be the word? As its main pivot point of power, she became an emanator due to the fact that just this world was in the presence of IX. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. But yeah, that's pretty much it. That's my take on, obviously, this trailer and Acheron. We're yet to see, obviously, what she really is and how she really is in game, and what her story is, especially in relation to the Annihilation Gun. Because there's the possibility that she might be having a dual personality. That's just a general thing. But then there's also the possibility that apparently, for now, what I've just been seeing online is that she's a self-annihilator. There's actually a term that was used in HoYoLab. Let me just get it for you all. So if you go to HoYoLab and then you go to Honkai Star Rail, let me just see like who I'm following here. Is this the story or something? No. So if you go to Honkai Star Rail, then you go to, what is this? It's not really loading, so it's not going to do anything. So let's, where is it? There's one Emanator special. It's this one actually. Just hope it loads. So if you go down to not this page. Emanator, we already know. Emanates, Antimatter Legion, the family, self-annihilator. So I want you to, when we read this, a group that lost their meaning of existence when they carelessly stepped into IX Nihility's shadow. The shadow of Nihility covers the stars equally, and self-annihilators might form in any world. These poor souls sharing one thing in common: their various existential properties such as corporeal body, mental cognition, personal memories will gradually fade in their journey of self-annihilation. Some self-annihilators have their skin turned into something like rotten wood, full of holes and scars. Some have their endocrine system disrupted, becoming unable to distinguish between pleasure and pain and turning numb to everything. Some lose their memories, others lose their senses. It is as if they have been deprived of the meaning of their lives, and by some entity, and can only keep watching in dreams and illusions as their own forms disappear into a black hole at the end of the horizon. However, some self-annihilators would conceive the idea of fighting back. They join the doctors of chaos, vowing to do their best to cure others of nihility in what little time they have left in exchange for their own redemption. This, if IX is truly, and how could the path exist to this day? Perhaps As the self-annihilators aimlessly traverse the cosmos, they are also casting the shadow of Aeon around the universe. As for the few who can single-handedly withstand the encroachment of nihility on their existence, their journey of self-annihilation is drawn out to infinity, and the road they walk is like a shadow of Ix cast in the world. So I saw something that might be hinting to the fact that Acheron might be a self-annihilator and an emanator. I don't know if you can be both at the same time. Obviously, emanator being that you are most closest to that eon in terms of what you do, whether it's death, destruction, abundance, but self-annihilator is now in the event. I don't know. It's like you either get, it's like you end up making contact with the eon, which then gives you this like debuff or this curse or whatever, where obviously some have their skin turn into something like a rotten wood, some have the feeling of numbness for the rest of their lives, and obviously some lose their memories and others lose their senses. So losing their memories, that's the part where I think Acheron comes in, because she might also be a self-annihilator. We never know, yeah, because that whole trailer kind of shows an aspect of IX, if it wasn't IX. But again, we know we're yet to know when the game, when the patch actually comes out, and we're able to understand her actual true story behind. I don't even think we've done a companion quest with her, so we wouldn't even be able to know what how she came to be, what she is right now. So I think the patch will explain a lot, especially about her powers and everything, and we're yet to see that. So that's pretty much it. So obviously now the final bit of today, we're just going to be talking about what I think everybody has been seeing online, which is basically the beef about Honkai Star Rail, or Hoyoverse specifically, giving creators like early access to characters to then post and create builds. I'm just gonna mention it like very, very small aspect. I think, you know what, I do think it does affect smaller creators such as myself or any other smaller creator because if you give someone, like, I won't even mention the name because I don't want to obviously cause any problems. If you give someone who has a big following in creating content for a game that early access to create content for the game, then what do small creators have to create thereafter? All right, that's the first bit. The second bit, I do understand the aspect of giving creators that access to a controlled leak per se, because to be honest, Acheron's leaks were so huge compared to every other single character's leaks, to the point where you could literally open YouTube and see a whole MOC run with Acheron, and this is like 3 weeks back, like literally 3 weeks back. So I think I do understand that aspect of controlling the leaks with a creator. Now, in terms of doing it with a creator specifically, right? I do understand that they want to give it to someone who's able to edit and give the honest thoughts and opinions about the character. Because realistically, if I were to choose between someone who has like 2 subscribers and their videos are just him talking and not doing any like major edits, and you have a creator who does like heavy edits and actually explains while doing those editing, I would choose that person. It's like choosing experience over no experience, right? And that's what I understand they did, which again is not a problem. But there's still a lot. This is obviously still the first time they're doing it, so we're yet to see we're yet to see the outcome of this whole situation, like finish up. So that's. But there's a lot. All I can say is this whole drama, it's just a bit petty, I think. Like, I don't think we should all be judging, especially people going after the actual creators that got that access. I don't think people should be going after the creators. It's childish, and if you were given the chance to represent the game that you're playing and covering content for, and you wanted and you were given that opportunity to create content for a character that's before they've come out, 100% you would. If I was called by Hoyoverse and said, listen, I need you to make we've given you access to this character, play them, make a video, send it to us for review, and then you can post it, 100% I would. Obviously, it's a disadvantage to some people, because now that means that content creator can get way more views and traction for their videos and channel compared to other people. But you know, it is what it is. Let's see what happens, and then yeah. But I hope you guys are having a good day. And with that said, I will see you all in the next one.